Let's move on to next speaker, and it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Arun Kshetrapal, who is Director of Kshetrapal Eye Hospital and LASIK Laser Center at Ajmer, Rajasthan. And he's an extremely prolific cataract and refractive surgeon. We all have seen his wonderful videos time and again. So he's going to present a very challenging case. Dr. Arun?
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Chitra. Thank you, Harshul. Before I begin my talk, I couldn't agree more with you, Priya, that all the anterior segment surgeons, those postgraduates should be taught anterior vitrectomy. It's very, very useful in sticky situations. What I'll be presenting to you is this case. This case had a trauma. The anterior capsule is intact. There was a posterior capsular tear because of the trauma, and the nucleus was dangling into the vitreous. So if you can appreciate that you can see the nucleus is dangling inside. So I had a plan in my mind. I start with placing a trocar at the pars plana. Now I start with, after staining the capsule, I start with the capsular rhexis. Since there was no support under the anterior capsule, so it was very difficult to grasp the anterior capsule initially. So I had to change my hands, and finally I was able to grasp the anterior capsule. And since I was not sure what is the exact condition of the posterior capsule, so the pearl here will be to make a small rhexis, because a smaller rhexis can be enlarged later on anytime. So you do a small rhexis. Now there is still a tag of rhexis capsule here. So you need a perfect rhexis. You don't want to leave this tag, because if you leave this tag, this may get extended while maneuvering. So you need a perfect rhexis. So you have a very decent opening. The next step would be to levitate this nucleus into the anterior chamber. Again, you need to be very confident. You should know your vitrectomy well. I go with a retractor underneath the nucleus and levitate into the anterior chamber through the anterior capsular opening. Once the nucleus is trapped in the capsular rhexis, you can levitate it with the help of viscoelastic, inject some viscoelastic, and bring the nucleus into the anterior chamber. So now you have your nucleus into the anterior chamber. A good idea would have been to provide an IOL scaffold, as Priya did, but I was not sure of the condition, what's happening behind, how much cortical matter I have behind. So I prefer to go ahead without an IOL scaffold. And if you can appreciate that I have divided the nucleus into two. One half I'll be phacoemulsifying it, and the second half is being supported by the iris and the remaining capsule so that it doesn't falls down. So I have pushed the second half on one side so that it doesn't falls down. So now I have my nucleus out. I was lucky, this was a very soft nucleus, thus the patient was young. So next step would be to remove the remnant of the cortical matter or the nucleus particle which are present in the anterior vitreous. And during this attempt, I lost few of the cortical matter into the vitreous, but the pearl here would be to not to go behind those cortical particles. You don't need to go deep. You can leave that for a later part to be tackled at a later end. So being an anterior segment surgeon, you just need to tackle it you need to remain in the anterior part of the vitreous itself. Don't go deep into the vitreous. So once all the vitreous has been cleared of the cortical matter, the next step, logical step, would be to remove the cortex. A bimanual would be bimanual is a good choice to remove the cortex because it maintains the chamber. So if you can appreciate at this point of time that here is the anterior rhexis, and then you have the posterior tear here and here. You clean up all the cortical matter from the back, and next step would be to enlarge. Now what I'm planning here is a optic capture, and if you remember, I did a very small anterior rhexis initially, so it would be very difficult to capture an IOL in this small rhexis. So I'm resizing my rhexis, making it of an optimal size so that I can capture the IOL easily into this rhexis. So the anterior capsular rhexis is enlarged. A 3-piece IOL is inserted and it is being captured in the anterior capsular rhexis opening. So here we have captured the IOL. Then you go again to the pars plana and remove all the extra cortical matter which has been left behind and shave the vitreous. Don't go after the cortical matter which has already gone deep inside the vitreous. Before you close the case, put some Kenacort and see for any vitreous in the anterior chamber. So that was how I managed a case of a pre-existing posterior capsular tear. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Arun. That was a very challenging case, and definitely, as you said, creating a rhexis is a huge challenge. Dr. Ramurthy, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I have my thoughts about that case, that whether a levitation should have been done. There could be these cases should have been given to a posterior segment surgeon. And my other doubt is, even if he levitated, he could have placed a scaffold on the in the AC on the iris itself, because we did see a lot of cortex going in behind. So what are the messages here?
It was done by it was a posterior polar cataract where the capsule gave way to this is where Arun said already the anterior capsule.
You're not clear?
Yeah, your audio. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, now it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was saying that in the last case where there was a posterior polar cataract and then ended up with a problem which was well managed. In this case, the anterior capsule is intact, totally intact, and then the posterior capsule has given way. A large part of the lens is in the posterior segment. I believe that this should have been completely given up to the posterior segment surgeon, because it's a fairly soft cataract, though it's a total cataract. Using a frag, it could have been completely evacuated. The capsule could have, the anterior capsule could have just been left as it is. A lens could have been placed on that, or after the posterior segment finished his surgery, we could have done a small rhexis and created an optic capture. Even towards the end of the surgery, though Arun did it beautifully, you could see quite a bit of cortical matter floating around. There was a whitish glow behind. This might get absorbed over time, but then the patient is going to have inflammation, raise intraocular pressure, complain of vitreous floaters for a long time. So in today's world, I'm sure maybe we have to tie up with our posterior segment colleagues, and then asking them to manage this case would have been a better way to go. Of course, if you don't have access to that and we have to manage it yourself, maybe what he did is right.
Partha, your thoughts?
Yeah, Chitra, yes, a very interesting case. So what Dr. Ramurthy has first opened up the idea whether it to be given totally to the posterior segment surgeon or an attempt by the anterior segment surgeon. Well, an attempt. Yes, sir?
It depends on whether you want to share the takings or just give it to them totally.
Yeah. I will not leave it to them totally, sir.
Partha would have handled himself.
The part of the booty needs to be shared.
Yeah. So the first thing is, yes, even in these ones in which there is a very small rupture of the anterior capsule, but a larger rupture in the posterior capsule, there are times that the nucleus is actually manageable even by the anterior segment surgeon. So first going in, doing a rhexis as large as possible in the circumstances, trying to get it out. But what I would definitely differ from what Arun did is, trying to do a 3-port if I do not have a posterior segment backup right then. If I have a posterior segment backup right then I would start operating in the posterior segment OT and go ahead and do the anterior segment part, hoping that it would I would be able to take out the nucleus and do a fairly good job of placing the lens. But if it is at the center where the posterior segment backup is not there, and I'm forced to do the anterior segment part, then I would do it. But the moment the chunk falls in, and there is enough and more of cortex and nucleus matter in the vitreous, which has to be done by a posterior segment surgeon, then to place the lens in or not the lens in. So there, our posterior segment surgeons believe that you can place the lens in, they can later go in through the 3-port, remove off the cortical matter as well as the nucleus, and the lens is there in place in the sulcus as it is.
What are your thoughts on levitating the nucleus out and not placing an IOL scaffold in this case?
Yeah, so levitating a nucleus out, I would not believe. And, it draws the vitreous along with the levitation, which is not correct for the base of the vitreous base. And it could create breaks that can happen. So, the vitrectomy first be done and then any amount of levitation. If it has to be removed anteriorly. So it's a little bit of a mix and match, but if it is something that is gone in or halfway in, the posterior segment surgeon has to be the one who has to do a good job of it.
Okay. I would go on
Let
to
me also agree completely. I just wanted to agree completely with Ramamurthy sir. Only thing is, I will also be there so that I'll be able to place the lens if they are not comfortable. But then
they are not able to do so.
this is surely a posterior segment person should also be with me.